Hey everyone, I'm Abdo from Cairo, Egypt, and I'm here to talk about my new Duck API. Duck API is a way for people to write and use Python plugins directly with the Silkroad client without needing to use phBot. You can use phBot and still use it with it, or any other bot for that matter, but you don't need to if you don't if you don't want. The files you'd need are the Python DLL that is needed for the Python interpreter and the Duck API DLL that I created, exporting all the APIs, and the plugins folder, which contains usually all of the plugins you'd be running. Currently has these example plugins that I created, and the Python 38 typical folder containing the environment folders or the environment needed folders by Python. So what I'll do right now is that I'm just going to go ahead and copy these files and add them into one of my game folders, and I'm just going to go ahead and choose Retrofire. So after pasting things, I'm just going to go ahead and unzip the Python folder since it's zipped, and then just to remove this one. Now I have what I need inside that folder. Now the next step I need to do is to somehow inject the Duck API DLL into the Silkroad client as it runs, or even after it runs. You can do that even after you log in. So you need an injector, and for the sake of bragging, I'm going to use my own injector right here, little ducky injector. Because I've already done that before in the Arabic version of this video, I already selected the target process right here and selected the DLL to be injected to it. So what I need to do now is to simply run the game from its launcher, or maybe use uh, a loader like the EDX loader. So let's go ahead and run the game from here. Now, the first thing you expect to see after the injection is this little login window. Since I already also did this before and selected to remember my credentials, it saved and automatically loaded my credentials. So I'll just log in. Once I successfully log into the plugins system, it will automatically run the Python plugins in the folder and give you pretty much the same view as a phBot. And basically to explain how very, very similar the Duck APIs are to phBot APIs, let's go ahead and remove that Xpacket tool plugin, which is initially a phBot plugin, and go ahead and reload again. We'll no longer see it up there. We just see the two plugins, Duck Control and Smart Trace. So now let's go ahead and download it again, but from phBot's website. And then download it directly into our plugins folder. Now, this code is running in our plugins folder. If I go ahead and go back to my extension and reload, nothing would happen because it simply doesn't understand what phbot is and what qtbind is. And for those of you who don't understand that as well, those are basically two libraries created by phbot to export all of these fancy GUI and logic APIs that are being used in plugins. So to make sure it's easy to migrate or to switch phbot plugins into DuckAPI plugins, I created the exact same function names with the exact same function signatures. And the only difference I made is that I changed the name of this qtbind to DuckUI. So literally all I need to do now is to find all instances of qtbind and replace them with DuckUI, and then go to phbot and switch it to DuckAPI. Now, if I go back to my extension and reload, ta-da, it magically appears without touching any of the code inside of the plugin. And now let's see if it works in the game. I'm just going to pause the game, log into an account, and be back again. Alrighty, here we are, and we logged in. So what you typically expect from a phbot Xpacket tool plugin is to be able to see what the client sends the server when you do something on the client side, and to also see what the server responds with to that specific action. So for example, if I show client packets and move to this area, I'll see that the client sends this opcode and data to the server. And if I do the same, I'll see that the server responds to my packet with this packet. So simply, if I try to move to that area with injection, if I inject the same opcode with its data back to the server, I expect it to run back to the same location, and here it did. So simply speaking, this is the exact same utility that is provided by phBot to run and create Python plugins. However, you don't need a bot because this is not a proxy. This is not a bot. The client doesn't necessarily have to connect to the game server through it, like if it's a bot or a proxy. You can simply run the game directly from the client, like I did right now, and connect directly to the game server, or you can run it from phbot, sbot, mbot, or any other bot for that matter, and you'd still be able to use that. And what's even better is that in servers that bots are not allowed, some of them, like macro servers created by MaxiGuard and vStro Plus, for example, where they block bots like phbot, this API would still be working and you'd still be able to manipulate packets and create and automate stuff with packets. So that's pretty much it for that video or for this video. I'll probably see you guys later in some other videos explaining other APIs and how to create other plugins with the very limited available APIs for now. So I guess I'll see you guys then. Bye for now.